So, I'm going to go on a rant. I kind of done with my town. It's terrible. It's a terrible place to live. The school district sucks. There's an event this weekend. Tomorrow morning. It is a jogging event that I'm not going to say what brewery, but it's a beer factory puts on every year. They close down like 3 miles of road, 3 to 4 miles of road. It goes from the start of my block to the end of my block, my street. Not even block, my street. This thing goes on for a while. Like, if you start from the bottom and walk all the way up to the end, you are like, it's probably a good 2-3 hour walk. Okay? It will take you some time. But they close down the streets. Normally, you get about a day notice to shut down the streets. They tell you not to park in front of your house, maybe the day before. Like, hey, don't park here Saturday. Now, it was Wednesday. We were not allowed to park in front of my house for 4 days. That's fine, I guess, because you were doing street cleaning, which is perfectly fine. I understand we need to clean up the street for a thing that most people in town do not do. Most people in my town don't even like it because it closes down half the town. It is I don't even drink the beer. It tastes like piss. Okay? It is a terrible beer. It's not good. But they put this event on. And it's a terrible event. It doesn't last long. It lasts from about like 7 a.m. to about 1 p.m. Besides the fact that most people have to go to work, and people like my dad who has to find a way out of town because he has doctor appointments, because if he doesn't go, he couldn't die. But they have to close down the town for this event. It's a terrible event. I don't care how much pride you have in your town. It's a terrible event. Don't do this. Don't ever do this to your townspeople. But they have decided that I can't feed my birds and other animals on my property now. The day before the event, they tell me this. These cowards, these people. By the way, I think they did it this time, at this moment in time, because tax season was 2 days ago. I already paid my taxes. If I knew this, I wasn't going to pay taxes, okay? I already don't believe I should be paying as much taxes as I am. I haven't even been parked in front of my house for 4 days. It's my property. I should have the right to park in front of my property. But no tax rebates, nothing like that. No discounts. We still have to pay the same amount of BS, as always, because politicians promise that would become lower, but they never do anything. But they have the nerve to sneak their way onto my property. By the way, the doorbell camera that we have, security camera, picked up the guy, but while he was here, disactivated. It saw him coming in and then disactivated. I don't know if he has some type of trigger to turn off security cameras. I was logged out of my phone. Couldn't look at the security camera anymore. My mom still can't get hers back up and running. Don't know what that was about. But who knows? This guy was an asshole and he deserves to know that he was bad. So, I'm dealing with these politicians all the time telling me what to do when they don't even fix a pothole in front of my house. It took me yelling at a cop car, "Hey, fix that pothole," for them to fix it the next day. Come on. It shouldn't take a citizen yelling at a cop, "Hey, fix that pothole." You should be doing it already. But they didn't even do a good job at that. They patched pieces of like square pieces around the pothole. Then the entire side street, I think I actually showed it on one of my shorts. It might have disappeared on like Instagram or something like that. But the entire side street was filled with potholes. So they sort of fixed it. They did half this road, or 60% of the road, and then stopped halfway down the hill. Yeah, I'm so proud of that. I still have to worry about the fact that the entire bottom of the hill is filled with potholes. It's not my job to fix potholes. It's the city that I pay to live in. But they have the nerve to tell me that you can't have a bird feeder in your front yard, or a bird bath, or put some food out for the cats because there's a lot of cats in town and they don't do anything to that. By the way, they were trying to pass the law and they got overturned because the law was stupid last year. That you shouldn't be able to do this. They're doing the same BS that they did last year. But they're doing it again. And they're doing it. It's the same BS over and over again. But I don't see any return. If you don't give me grief, give me a reason to give you my money. If you keep doing this, I'm not going to pay taxes. If you're going to stand at the corner and watch me take down my stuff because of the fact that you don't trust us, we don't trust you because we don't know where our tax money is going. You guys are crooked. You guys have not used our tax money for anything. But we had this giant event that none of us want. We don't want to watch a bunch of strangers from all over the world come to our town jogging, okay? We don't want to watch that. We want to do it ourselves. But fine, you want to have an event like that? Yeah, it brings people into our town. Too bad that that's the only place in our town because you guys raised the prices of businesses around town that they can't even afford to be in our town anymore. So they're leaving. We had how many restaurants leave this town? We've had businesses leave this town. There's nothing to do here because you jacked up the prices. But that's all well and fine, I guess, because money's money. But when you get the citizens of my town who really don't care about this event, who are now being forced to celebrate this event, we don't fight back. No more event. I don't think we should have this event next year. This is the last year I think we should have. And I think they should know that. because we don't want to do it. I don't want to see my dad, who can barely walk across a pavement, walk up a hill 4 days in advance because he can't park in front of his house. Or my grandmother, who can't walk outside because the car is in the back, downhill. Heck, I can't get to kind of walk uphill because this is the day I've been going through. But they don't fix the streets, only patches in it. Fix the entire thing, people. Fix it. The entire town sucks. There are potholes everywhere. You could fix it. It doesn't take much to do. It took you 10 minutes to do half a road. Close it for a day, you could do the entire road. We're not going to complain if we can actually drive on a nice, straight, correct, fixed street. No potholes. Don't have to worry about it. Next thing, the sewer drains outside my house have not been fixed for 25 plus years. It's been clogged so bad that it might as well be the street. We call them and tell them to do this, and they come in with a shovel, dig down to the bottom of the sewer drain, but never fixed the problem. They left the pipe totally clogged. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to fill right back up. Fix your sewer drains, town. Fix it. I can go on about the school district. My sister works there. But I don't want to get her in trouble. But if you know what was going on in your schools, people, I would take your kids out. Especially in my town. Your kids are better off at home eating a microwave dinner than being at public school. That goes across the entire nation. Well, heck, I'm dealing with people online about this moon landing thing. Well, people don't know anything. They don't give you evidence. They give you theories. They don't know anything. People 28 years old and down don't know anything really. It's sad. But the public school district ruined their intelligence. Like, I'm not smart, but I know I'm smarter than most people out there. I wish I could run for mayor or something. I would fix this town so hard. There are so many people that needs to leave. It goes for all politics, Republicans and Democrats. But every country, every state, every town, borough, haven, yeah, all those places. We all suffer because our leaders do nothing. Our leaders tell us what to do, but they do nothing. They steal your money. They waste it on prostitutes, gambling, drugs, alcohol. Wreck the town. Doing this entire event because of alcohol. There's going to be free beer here, by the way. Yes. These people. And you got my parents and grandmother being like, you can't do anything. If you report them with all this stuff, you'll get fined. And I'm like, no. If I have 1,000 things that I can easily do just walking down my block, I can easily find like 500 items just walking down like 4 blocks that the town has not fixed. The one is the park right next to my house. They left it get overgrown. No one's allowed to do anything in it. The I think there's Halloween decorations from 2024 up still, and winter decorations around that time. There was a spring formal from around that time. Actually, I think it was a fall formal from around that time. Still up. There were lights hanging down because they didn't do anything. You're not allowed to go in. Like, if you're sitting in there for a long period of time, they don't come and be like, you gotta leave. Even if you're hanging out with a bunch of people around a park bench or something like that, they don't tell you to leave. And when I say long period of time, I mean about 45 minutes. The steps are terrible. They're just falling apart. They didn't even finish the level that they have set up. It's just like the plastic lining that you put in a fish pond. That's the level that they have. And it hardly ever works because there's not enough water for it to work. But they never do anything. But they have the gall to tell us not to feed animals or put our trash cans basically behind our house. They want our trash cans behind our house because you don't want it in sight of your, in eyesight. There's nothing, my entire side of my house is just a giant patio basically. There's nothing hiding anything. You're not hiding a trash can back though. The only way is in the backyard, and they don't pick trash up in the back. But I pay their taxes. I pay for this guy who came to my house. His bills. And he has the bills job to tell me that I can't do this. No more. And I was promised by Trump less taxes. Haven't seen it yet, Trump. Haven't seen it. Actually, your gas almost reached as high as Biden. I haven't seen anything yet. Oh, another thing. Before this weekend, they were supposed to have 3 houses torn down up the block, about 2 blocks up. How they didn't tear them down? They left them standing. This is the town doing this. The town was supposed to have them torn down. Town didn't do anything. Left it standing. So, you know how they covered it up? They put black cloth, like blackout curtains, hanging out the windows off the front so you can't see the house. That's the idea of cleaning up this town. Hanging curtains off the front of it. That is the idea of cleaning up this town. I actually might make that fun now if I can figure it out. I'm going to put the entire, that houses, because I actually took a picture of it because I'm like, I'm going to send it to them being like, this is what you guys do with my money. Yeah. I think there's an election coming up for this town. I'm voting myself every category. Mayor, council, whatever. I will be voting myself. I don't want to see a single one of anyone in them in office. I'd rather have this guy has 0.1% of the votes than have my vote go to one of them. So, if you're in my town and you vote against me, I wish you luck. Because this is war. This is when I already have neighbors who are upset enough that they're like, we don't figure out a way to fight this. Because we don't want to have to park a block and a half away from our house or down a hill to get to our house 4 days in advance. It's BS. You guys don't deserve that. Especially since half of the people who are coming to this event don't even live here. Heck, then the people throwing it are millionaires. Billionaires, technically, I guess, because it is one of the biggest bills in the country. So, these people are terrible. They are cruel and evil human beings who probably also be in prison. We all know what happens with politicians and not holding up the end of the bargain when you pay your taxes. We've seen it with Mr. Epstein and all those politicians. If you believe half of that, what's told, because most of it's probably fake. We can't even trust the government getting out actual information because half the stuff they put out was fake in the first place. And once it was getting bad, the files just disappeared. No one's talking about them anymore because of other news. I think this war was caused, because Iran was because of the files of Epstein. This government is just corrupt, and they need to go. They need to be out of office. No more Republicans, no more Democrats. A new party needs to take their place. Someone new, someone who's actually lived on the streets, who knows how to actually deal with actual citizens and not another politician. Because we don't care about Republicans or Democrats anymore. We care about, can we survive? And right now, the American citizen is not being able to survive. Just think of that. We just had an entire warehouse burned down less than a week ago because a guy wasn't making enough money to live. We've had a video game company lay off 1,000 people because they can't afford anything anymore. The taxes are too high. We've had Marvel Universe just lay off 1,000 people, and surprisingly another 1,000 people, because they can't afford it anymore. It's like, I don't care. I'm worried about the people. I don't care about these businesses. But if big billion-dollar companies can't afford to pay people anymore, maybe we should take a look at the country that those companies are in and be like, why can't these companies pay people and afford to have employees? This country is in trouble, and the person who was supposed to fix it is too busy playing toy soldiers than to actually fix any of the actual problems. He got an entire list of people who should be in prison, and he'd rather deal with an illegal alien, an illegal immigrant, than an actual predator who is trying to kill people. Which most of them sit next to the president. Most of them were presidents. And these people are getting away with this crime because I pay for them. I pay for these evil beings, these criminals. With my money, my parents' money pays for them. My sisters, you pay for them. Everyone pays for these evil beings, and we are afraid to do anything about it. We are terrified that we will go to jail if we don't pay taxes. We are terrified that we will get pew-pewed. We will get pew-pewed because we're afraid to stand up and talk. We should not have to be afraid to tell our government, no, we voted them in. They didn't vote for us. We voted them. We have the right to tell them no. We do. They don't do anything to us. We do it to them. They're in office because of us, not them. No more Republicans, no more Democrats. Get them out of office. They don't deserve it anymore. They do not deserve to be in office. I do not want to see another Republican and Democrat in office because they have more money than an actual person who deserves to be there. They don't deserve that pressure anymore. They don't. They can't have it anymore. They crossed the line so many times. This war in Iran is crossing the line. The fact that they are blaming Jews. Dude, if you're sick enough to blame the Jews for every little disgusting thing that happens, maybe you should get your head fixed. Go to a psych. Because you're insane. I'm sick and tired of this. These YouTubers on Republicans and Democrats and streamers, Republicans and Democrats, who always glorify their party but never really points at them and be like, this is wrong. We had Donald Trump over the week, like Sunday this week, post the image of him as Jesus Christ and then blatantly lie and said it was a picture of the doctor. He has freaking angels flying behind him and a girl praying next to him. That's not a doctor. That is the Antichrist. You piece of crud. Yet I can't have a bird feeder in my front yard or feed a cat. A guy in Oregon can't gather up rainwater because it's the government's. God's gift from the heavens is the government's. He got arrested because you fined because it's the government's rain, apparently. We spend billions of dollars to send up a rocket that most people don't even think is real. Because they're not educated enough to know how anything works. The one guy that I watched, he's so uneducated. He doesn't even know what a microwave is. He was trying to make a point that that's the nuclear symbol for radiation in a microwave. He has no idea the fact that microwaves are an actual radiation. He is that dumb. But I can't blame him. I could criticize him for being uneducated, but I can't blame him because of system. His town failed him. His school system failed him because he never told him what radiation is, how microwaves work. He was there the entire time thinking it's probably a wipe up that heats his food. But I can't blame him for it. Because he didn't have the right education. I look at these Republican and Democrats running around, which talk about the Democrats with the no kings and no ice things. And they're afraid because of the fact that they were born in America, but they're afraid that they don't get deported because they're illegal aliens. Because you don't know what the word illegal means. They don't know anything. They have the mindset of an 8-year-old. They have never gone past that. Their body has, but they don't know what sex they are anymore because they were never taught. They don't know anything anymore. But heck, they're calling Jews WW2 bad guys because they don't know the difference between a Jew and a WW2 not bad guy. They don't know the difference. They think that Trump is one. He's not. He doesn't even come close. Not even MAGA doesn't even come close to a WW2 bad guy. But these people fell asleep during high school, and then they get the internet. They get the knowledge from the internet, which is hundreds of people who are just as dumb as they are. They can't figure it out for themselves because they never did critical thinking. They never had to deal with a math problem. They can't even solve a simple question like, what's 85 plus 15? I saw that online, and I'm like, why can't you solve that? That's simple. It's 100, but they can't solve it. 85 plus 15. 5 is 90, adds 10 more, 100. And the sad thing is, this was a news station doing it, going around asking, and they don't know. It's like, I have a guy asking me online, what do you think about Iran and Israel? I'm like, I don't agree with evil nation. We should not attack evil nation. I didn't tell him this. This is me telling him now. But we should never hate someone because of their race or who they are, what country they grew up in. We should love all lives matter, even the animals outside. Every life matters. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, Asian, Hispanic, Filipino, Arab. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a cat or a bird who's trying to survive and found a nice warm place to hide. We shouldn't have to worry about a cop coming to your door because of that. Of you are taking care of life. You are the hero if you're taking care of life. If you are accusing another race of being worse than anyone else, look at yourself. Because all lives matter, man. We're all trying to survive. We're all paying the same bills. Did you know how much money you keep if you make $1 million? 600,000 of your $1 million you keep. The government gets the rest in taxes. That's almost half. The government gets almost half of $1 million in taxes if you make $1 million. Yet they don't do anything. Our streets never get paved. Heck, I live in Pennsylvania. There was a highway that was being fixed when my dad was born. It's still being fixed. They still haven't finished it yet. I'm almost 40. Fix the highway. I don't care anymore. Just fix it. But these are the people who are going to war and telling us who are not bad guys when they are the most evil beings in the universe. They are the bad guys, not you, not the black guy, not the white guy, not the Asian, not the Hispanic. They are. And then we have judges who won't send bad guys to jail. They'll let them back on the street. Like that guy who KO'd that girl on the bus last year. He's free now because they left him go. They have evidence of him doing it and witnesses. The witnesses sat around and watched. But he did it. And he's free. California, if you steal under $1,000, it's yours. You can't get arrested for it. Dude, stealing is stealing. If you take a 10-cent candy piece of candy, you should get punished. If you steal $1,000, you should be sentenced to say a year in prison. We shouldn't have to wonder. Is that enough to pay the cop? Heck, if someone breaks into your house, you should be able to defend your house. But now, these criminals breaking into your house, or trying to break into your house, are getting set free, and you are going to prison because of it. Or paying fines for their medical bills. If a store gets robbed and the store clerk picks up a bat and defends himself, he's in trouble, not the criminal. We should be done with that. I don't care who it is. If someone comes up to me and attacks me, I'm coming out the winner. I don't care. Neither should you. If you're being attacked, if you see someone being attacked, you shouldn't stand around and let that person be the villain. You should be the hero. There should not be a question of justice, because as soon as someone attacks someone else, they should be knocked down. This doesn't go for cops, because cops are there to protect you. If a cop is attacking someone, it's because the person who they're attacking is in trouble. That goes for Miss Good, who is no longer with us, or the doctor who's no longer with us, because those people were doing stuff illegally. Miss Good hit the cop twice. And she was using a deadly weapon. A vehicle is considered a weapon, and she was using it to attack people. We shouldn't have to ask, is the cop the bad guy or not? Because the cop is not a bad guy. The cop is doing his job to protect the citizens around. The doctor or nurse, whatever he was, who is no longer with us. If you saw what he was doing earlier, he was not a smart person, especially when he keeps a pew-pew in his back pocket what's it called? He doesn't have the safety on. My cat's in the coopy. He did it to himself, not the cop. If we're allowed to take down an entire city block to have a protest, riot, whatever it was, because of a guy who was psychologically not well, who was high as a kite, who was fighting the wall. If we could have an entire riot for that, then a bunch of people can gather on one Capitol building and be like, we don't support this. They should not have to go to jail for 4 years. But the people that did that entire riot, who destroyed businesses and cars, who put people in the ground because they did this, because they didn't agree with a couple of cops who got rid of a criminal, they got away scot-free. But they destroyed the entire town, spray painted everything, destroyed stuff, stole stuff. So they got away scot-free. But the cops went to jail for doing their job. The people who gathered at the Capitol went to jail, most of them, for walking around. It's like there was a few people who were rowdy, but it was less than 10. But they all went to jail. And the 10 people who got in trouble for being rowdy are still in jail. Which serves them right. They should not be rowdy at the Capitol. But walking around the Capitol, gathering for a election, and being like, we don't want this guy as our president, should be allowed. That's peaceful. That's a protest. You have the right to do that. You don't have the right to break into someone's house. You don't have the right to steal people's money. Yet the government loves to do that. The government loves to trespass. The government loves to steal your money. Now, just let that sink in. Think of it. The government's doing all this. That's technically a crime. We've had almost every president break the law in one way or another. Obama was not much better. I know people love him, but you guys have rose-tinted glasses. Take them off. Same thing with you Republicans. Trump is not the greatest man. Take off your glasses. Look at it actually. Look at the citizens who are suffering because they can't afford anything. They were promised lowered gas, and the gas is still over $4 a gallon. It almost made it to $5 again. It made it to $5.50. It made it to $4.50. Biden was $4.53. Trump didn't do much better. So before you praise him, think about the promises he made, the lower taxes, because we paid more taxes this year than when Biden was in office. We haven't had anything cheap. There are no new businesses coming in because the more jobs that open up, twice as many people get laid off. Think of that. I was at Walmart the other day, walking around, and the shelves were empty because there's nothing. There's no food coming around. There's not enough business for people to make stuff. But Trump says it's so great. He's not. Obama said he was great. He's not. Biden, well, Biden's Biden. If you think Biden was a good president, you guys need help. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this government. I'm sick of my town. I'm sick of the fact that I have to pay taxes for people who don't do their jobs, who take my money and waste it in casinos and on women or men on islands that they should not be on, paying for illegal immigrants again, remember that illegal part of life. I don't want to pay for an illegal immigrant. I want to pay for someone who's trying to get here legally. There's a guy I work with. He's from Africa. He's a nice man. He's been here for 4 years. 4 years? 4 years. Technically, he's not supposed to be with me because the government says he's not allowed to. You're not allowed to drive him. You're not allowed to do anything with him, technically. Because he's not technically an American citizen. But they give him pittance of coins, not enough to live by himself. But he's not allowed to live with others. He found a church that would take him in. Because technically they have a homeless type shelter. He has enough to live there. But he can't get his citizenship for 3 years. But an illegal alien, an illegal immigrant can. The illegal alien immigrant gets his job that a citizen can have, or a guy trying to become a citizen has, because the government says it's okay. My sister, she suffers from seizures. She can't have food stamps because she doesn't qualify for food stamps because she suffers from seizures, so much so that she can have them for like 10-15 minutes, maybe longer. But she doesn't qualify for food stamps, but some stranger who snuck over the border does. How is that fair? Yeah, how is that fair? How is it fair for someone who can't depend on herself to walk down the steps, who's taking care of her kids, and her oldest daughter is taking care of her now because she can't take care of her kids anymore? Should she be on food stamps? Absolutely. But a fat guy in office who looks just as bad as anyone else says she can't have food stamps because she doesn't qualify. Yeah, I'm just sick and tired of these government officials, Republican and Democrat, controlling my life. They don't need to anymore. They need to stop because I can't trust any of them. And if you trust one, if you trust your politician to be a good person, this includes people who claim to be Christian, or claim to be Muslim, or claims to be anything. Don't trust them. Don't trust a single one. Don't trust Trump. Don't trust Biden. Don't trust Obama. Don't trust anyone. Because they don't deserve it anymore. Not a single one. I don't trust anyone in my town of politics. I don't trust. There was a courthouse right up there. I don't even trust the judge. Heck, jury duty. I haven't been called for jury duty. I am pretty sure I'll be like, I don't trust the judge when they ask me to go. Be like, I don't trust the judge and I don't trust the Royals. Probably say the guy is innocent and walk away. They don't deserve to be nominated for anything anymore. They don't need to win elections. They don't need to have their little speeches with on X / Telegram / whatever. They don't deserve those speeches anymore because they have done nothing for the American people. They did it for their own pockets. Maybe a little oil. Maybe a woman or two or a man, whatever they are. They don't deserve any of it anymore. They don't deserve my money. If they pulled this off before April, I would have been like, I'm not paying taxes. They want to send me to jail because I don't agree with them. I'll be fine. I would open the cop door and get in myself. He doesn't need to do anything. I don't care about a fine. I'm not paying their fines. I don't care about taxes anymore. They don't deserve it. This state doesn't. Pennsylvania does not deserve my money anymore. I live in Pennsylvania. You see the Red and Northern Railroad and stuff. Yeah, this state doesn't deserve my money anymore. This country doesn't deserve my money anymore. It doesn't deserve yours either. Because we sign no change. We are still living in the same swamp, the same job that you're working for $40 or whatnot. I don't say 40 because of the fact that seems like the high end, even though it's not. Because out of that 40, you make about $4, maybe $5. And you have a family of 4. Let's say a family of 4. And you're wondering how you're going to survive. Because you can't live on $5. And yet they want more of your money. And then what they do with it? Nothing. They put your kids through school that they don't even know a simple math problem. They look at your streets and laugh at you as you hit the pothole, being like, he just broke his axle of his car. Yes. We have people on a bus who sit around and watch as someone gets attacked because they can't do anything because they're afraid the government will come after them. Do you really want to pay for these politicians to be in office? Because they're not doing anything anymore. They're not doing any work. They're basically all fighting amongst each other. But none of them care for the American citizen. You have these YouTubers who disgrace them no matter what side they're on. You got Hassan Pike on his Twitch stream being like, it's all Israel's fault. Then yells at you if you criticize anyone for being racist. That's Hassan, the king of lies, because lying is OP. Hassan. Yeah, yet the politicians seem to love him. At least the Democrats. YouTube loves him. Fritz loves him. I don't know. Just think of that. Think about the fact that a guy who doesn't care about other human lives because of where they were born or what religion they celebrate, they worships, has politicians backing him up. And then you have these politicians who are just as crooked as he is. Think of that. Let that sink in. If a politician thinks that you have no right because of the situation you are in to talk, do you think that politician should be around in office? Yeah, they keep getting voted in. Joe Biden called us a bunch of trash bags. Now remember that. Every white guy was a trash bag in his election. He got in because we were trash bags. Because of their beliefs that he was not capable or well enough to succeed in office. You got when Obama came to Pennsylvania. That's a town in Pottsville is a town in Pennsylvania. When Obama came to Pennsylvania, actually, I think he did come to Pottsville. Well, Schuylkill County area. He called them hillbilly hicks because they were just a bunch of white people who look human, who look like they can't afford to drink a drink at a bar. He called them hillbilly hicks. I consider that racist. I consider that an insult. But no one ever talked about that. Besides the people in Pennsylvania who hated him for it. Who were like, that was insulting. That was terrible. I can't believe he said that. And he was going for his second term when he did that. And that's the guy that Democrats want to run in office again. The guy who really can't even keep his own family together. The guy who's, if you actually look up his history, as when he was in school, you would never vote for him. But yet we did. And you guys want to vote for him again? Just because he had a pretty face. You guys are the problem. And we can fix it. We can fix it. You and me. Whoever watches this video, sell it along. Let's fix the problem. Let's fix my town. Let's fix your town. Let's fix our nations. Let's fix it all. They don't deserve to be in office anymore. We keep voting because they only allow us to vote for two parties. Because every one of them has $1 billion. I don't want another billionaire in office. I don't want another millionaire in office. I want a guy whose paycheck right now is about $40 a day. I think he will be the best president we will ever see. Someone who walks beside people that these politicians and YouTubers call unsanctioned and unclean. Yes, those are the people that we need to work with. Those are the people we need in office. The people who know how people walk on streets. And people we know who can actually pick up a bag of rice Nothing heavy, a bag of rice, maybe a gallon of milk, by themselves. Someone who's not afraid of being a human, and they believe all lives matter. I hope this is, it's over an hour long. I'm going to end it here. And I'm sorry for going on this rant, but I'm done. I'm just done with these people. And you should be too. Not telling you to go anything, just get them out of office. That's all we need to do. We need to vote people in that are not Republicans and not Democrats. Let them be terrified when next election time comes around and this person who's not identified with a party is winning. Because he has the people behind him. Not a red state, not a blue state, but a pure white state. A state of every color. Because when you combine all colors, it's Krill. And that's people. And animals. And it's Krill. People and animals. We're all colors. Combine us all. We'll win. We don't focus on one race. We focus on all races and all lives. We let the guy gather rainwater in Oregon to water his plants because he can't afford food, or he doesn't agree with the crap that's put in on it, the fertilizers and stuff, the pesticides. He'd rather grow his own food. Let him gather up the rainwater to put it on them. This is just, I went on for an hour talking. This is me. I believe all lives matter. I believe you who left a comment, what do I think about Israel? You matter. Israel matters. Iran matters. We all do. Because we're human. And the human race is the only race that matters. That includes the Republican race and the Democrat race. It should be human. So, next election, when you see an independent person, vote him in. Or if there's someone like me or someone else who actually is not afraid to talk, vote them in. Someone who's worked with an immigrant trying to become an American citizen. Someone who knows the fact that you can't live out here anymore. Because a millionaire is never going to notice. He makes $1 million. He's never going to notice the suffering of the people who just paid $15 for a McDonald's meal, when 6 months ago it was 10. And 7 years ago it was 7. He's not going to notice that raise in price because he is the price. He's the reason the price is so high. Which vote someone in who notices the price and being like, I can't afford that anymore. I said it was going to end. I'm still going. Whew. But yes, we should be done with these people. We vote for them. We put them in office. We pay for their bills. We pay their taxes that they raise every year. After promising that they're going to cut them in half, every single one. Which look at New York, where they were promised free buses, and now that buses have tripled in price. Zendani, or whatever his name is. New York, you should really be upset. If you're watching from New York, you should be upset. I would call for an impeachment. Same thing with every Democrat who voted, or every Republican who voted for Trump right now should call for an impeachment on Trump. Because, and not politicians, but the people should. Because we have done so much for nothing. We are in a war again that was promised to be done in a week. Because Iran's new leader lied to the people. Again, the people are now still imprisoned and prisoners in their own nation because they can't get out. And they can't have a voice because every time they try, they get shut up. I'm glad to be American because I can make a video like this criticizing my country for their problems. They can't. Heck, if a woman takes off her held dress and they imprison her and then destroy her face because of it. Because the men are terrible. Her life matters. She's human. She has the right to take off her gobs if she wants. Just like the men have the right to look at their leader and be like, we don't want you in the office anymore. Get out. So, when you're here watching this video, and if you made it this far, just remember, you matter. The person in Iran matters. The person in Israel matters. The person in Korea matters. North and South. You all matter. Your life matters. The person who's thinking right now, why am I alive? You matter. The person who can't pay bills because they can't make money. Your life matters. You having your control to vote for the next president, next governor, next mayor. You having your life in America to do that. Which hope we can get Iran to have that right too. You have the right to believe your Republican politicians too, even though they're wrong. You have the right to believe Trump, even though he's wrong. You have the right to believe everyone. But just remember, you believe too many people, you will get hurt. So don't believe your politician when they tell you stuff. And don't let a guy in a fancy top and a pair of blue jeans tell you what to do. Who walks in on your property trying to hide the fact that he was walking on your property. Don't let him tell you. Because he's on your property. And you pay for his bills. Good night, America and the world. I guess North Korea and South Korea, good morning to all you Asian countries. You probably won't be watching this. But remember, you matter. You. Trying to get this in your heads. I wish someone will watch this video who's a big YouTuber and realize, yes, he's right. And I want his group of people to watch this and be like, yes, these politicians don't deserve to be in office anymore. We pay for their bills for the same dumb reasons. I'm going to try to get to 11:11. We pay for them bills. We pay for these scores that I should do a school video. I should do a video where my sister talks about her school problems. I won't show her face, but I should do that. Just so you can hear the nightmares of what goes on in public schools. If you have kids, consider homeschooling. Let's put it that way. I really think I should. I want people to know what's going on in this nation. And I'm not afraid to criticize both sides. Remember that. Bunny Johnson, DeCordowin. I'm just going to call out a bunch of names. Hassan, Naksu, Silverhead. I'm just calling out a bunch of names so that maybe one of them will pick it up, watch this video. Yellow Flash. Trying to think of other politicians. Actually, I used to follow a lot of politicians. And not politics, YouTubers. Trying to think of another Democrat one. Is that Hassan Pike? Heck, Donald Trump, watch this video. JD Vance, watch this video. This is an American citizen right here who pays your bills. He has a criticism, and I want you to watch it. I think that should work, right? I want me to be on the news. Let's get some Fox, ABC, NBC. Yeah, watch this. Watch what an actual American citizen who actually cares about his country thinks of you. The people who actually matter. The actual American citizens of America. And good night.